At the time of this recording, it's 2022. And the way that we have to coach and lead in 2022, it can't be like it was in 1960. Certainly not like 1970, 1980, 1990. Things have changed. And, to be honest with you, it's not more difficult to coach athletes today than it was back then. We just have to be more skilled in order to meet their expectations. And coaches have not invested enough, leaders have not invested enough in learning the soft skills and the approaches that form common ground amongst a group of diverse people. And so Bren and I have been working on a values-based leadership curriculum for a very long time, and what we've noticed is no matter what age or how diverse the teams are that we work with, no matter what their backgrounds are, their religious beliefs, so on and so forth, we have discovered a way to build common ground and share in the values and behaviors that are important, so that when we're together, we're united around these beliefs. And so I'm going to share with you before we skip ahead and establish this common ground, a few things have to be put in place. And so we use instruments to be able to do this. And, if you sign on to the course, we'll be able to, there's some surveys and some strength reports that we have to accompany and help you with this more specifically. But, there's three main steps in building a values-based leadership approach that can really help you in communicating to connect with athletes in a meaningful way, in a way that says to them that you care, you value them, and you want to help them. And so they just kind of receive your message. It's a little bit different than, it's not going to sound like a criticism per se. It'll sound like, oh, okay, this is helpful advice. And now, before you can start that on day one, we need a curriculum to lay the groundwork for how relationships should happen and how we value each other on the team. So the first step is value yourself. And with the strength assessments that we have available, it's an easy survey where people go on and, there are no wrong answers. It's designed so that it's positive. And so every instrument that we provide and lend coaches, it's not pointing out what's wrong with people. It's finding what's right, what resonates with them, what they appreciate, what they're good at, and building up from that. So valuing yourself is an exercise where we have each and every athlete just understand the value of who they are. And who they are is much bigger than just the role that they play or the skills that they have in the sport that you're coaching, okay? So we're talking about the human being. And so a character strength assessments are a great place to start. And we have one that's just fabulous. It's very simple, it's very easy to understand, and the athletes love it, okay? So step one, value yourself. Understand your gifts, your strengths, how you think, why you think that way, and how that can be a benefit to the team. Number two, in this exercise, and I have team building videos to support you with this, so you're not on your own here. We're going to help you. There's team builder videos as we're unpacking these strengths, and everybody's kind of, they're focusing on themselves and what's good about them. But number two, we also begin to realize that other people have strengths we don't. And sometimes those strengths are opposite to ours, sometimes they're complementary. And so through this exercise, we begin to realize, oh, okay, that's why Susie kind of behaves that way, or takes the initiative in this area, but is a little more risk averse in another. We begin to understand that, we are unique as an individual. We value our own strengths, but we recognize that when we value another person's strength, we also value their opinions, their way of working, their way of learning, and how they contribute. And isn't it true that when we combine all of our strengths, even though they're all unique in nature, when we combine them as a team, we have no blind spots? That's why I don't focus on blind spots. We don't talk about what's wrong with people, because we know that whatever I'm not necessarily good at, or naturally wired or predispositioned to be good at, I've got a teammate who's really good at that. And all I have to do through the strength of the relationships that we form with one another is earn that person's trust and respect so that they cover my blind spot, and I'll cover theirs. gladly. That's kind of the beauty of what teamwork is all about, isn't it? It's leveraging our unique individual giftedness in character as well as what we do in the sport and pull it all together so we can do something special. So number 2, value other people. And step 3 in the values-based curriculum is every day, every time we get together, add value to your team. Every day we have an opportunity to outserve one another. And if you really want to advance the culture of the team, we have to kind of establish that mindset to say, hey, what does servant leadership mean? And when I give a little extra here or there, I put an effort, or I think of you first before I think of myself, what's that going to do for our relationship and the culture? Now, by the way, as I'm sharing these 3 values principles, these are kind of the foundation, the groundwork before we begin talking about team values. Value yourself, value other people's strengths. Number 3, find a way to be a +1. Add value. Be one better than the person expected you to be. And that starts with the head coach. Can you exceed your players' expectations by 1 every day?